So I'm going to bring up this video with Ro Khanna here. He is a representative in the U.S. House, and he's proposing this $25 minimum wage. And I just want to, let's be perfectly clear, this is political theater season. It's midterm time. So what that means is that Republicans are going to be running around putting their names on, like, let's save the puppies from terrorists bill, while the Democrats are going to be rolling out a bunch of economic slop and putting their names on. So they have something to go back to their districts and run on. Okay. These people aren't leaders. They're poll followers. They're going to do populist things within their district so they can get reelected. So they're going to put their names on bills that have no chance of going anywhere. So they have something to run on because it's political theater season. So get your popcorn ready. But I want you, there's some danger to this stuff. And I just want you to listen in on Mr. Khanna's, Representative Khanna's statement here.
I'm co-leading and introducing historic legislation to move the federal minimum wage to $25 an hour. That would make it a true living wage.
Okay, that's a lie. It doesn't even mean anything. What's a true living wage? Where's that a living wage? Is it a living wage in rural Mississippi? Is it a living wage in Manhattan? It certainly doesn't set a singular standard of living across all these different economic realities within the United States. So how can one standardized minimum wage create a true living wage nationwide when there's so much economic variance in the way in which people live? And is there a specific standard of living we're targeting here? We're saying everybody deserves, I don't know, a studio apartment and, you know, be able to go out to eat a couple times a week. Everybody deserves to rent a room with a roommate. Like, what is the living wage? What does it represent on the other end? Well, they don't say that. It's a great catchphrase for people. It fits good on a bumper sticker, but doesn't have any economic meaning. So that's part one of this thing.
As someone who taught economics at Stanford, let me explain why this
is what bothers me is he taught economics at a prestigious university. And so he's well qualified, well credentialed, and he's spewing economic nonsense, and he knows it. He knows what he's saying isn't true. And he knows the bill's not going to get passed, but he is putting this false economic idea into the heads of a bunch of people, and they'll run on this. And bad economic policy hurts more people than just about anything else. Bad economic policy hurts people, and it hurts people that we say we want to help.
This makes so much sense. In 1968, the real minimum wage was $14 an hour. Today, it's $7.25 an hour.
Okay. This is a great sleight of hand. So what he said was in 1968, the real minimum wage was 14 something an hour, and today it's $7.25 an hour. What he's comparing is the purchasing power of the minimum wage from 1968 to the actual minimum wage of 2026. Purchasing power has fallen drastically in this country, and what he knows for a fact is that the U.S. Congress, the people who hold the purse strings, are not fiscally responsible. They're spending almost $2 trillion a year more than they're taking in, which is making them print all this extra money, which is reducing purchasing power of existing dollars. You have way more dollars. You have credit and money expansion happening much faster than productivity gains could ever possibly keep up. And he knows that to be true. So he's comparing purchasing power to real dollars in today's money. And it's a quick little sleight of hand to kind of deflect the blame away from Congress, who is actually causing this fall in your purchasing power.
That's right. That means that workers today are making half what they made in 1968. At the same time, productivity has increased 2.5 times. That means
So this is a fun talking point that Democrats use a lot, because it's the implication is that workers are working so much harder. And I think all of us can agree, like, we're not working harder than our grandparents did. Technological advancement, capital investment has made us much more productive. We produce way more things with much less effort than we used to. And so we have seen a massive increase in productivity. And again, the reason those productivity gains are not making their way through the economy is because we have a monetary policy that's focused on asset inflation and protecting asset prices. So the stated goal is for things to continually get more expensive, though from a technological perspective, the economic reality is things should be getting less expensive. But we adopted an economic policy, and this is super boring stuff, so I'm not going to get too deep into it, but we adopted an economic policy that says we need consistent inflation. But the evidence that a slightly deflationary environment from like the late 1800s, for example, would show that stagnant wages with falling prices is the best way to create a vibrant and wealthy middle class, not constant asset price protection. But constant asset price protection does benefit millionaires and billionaires and even boomers who already own a home and have a 401k plan. It protects those people, but it makes it far more difficult for younger people who are just getting started to participate in the economy. And a minimum wage isn't going to fix that.
Average worker is producing 2.5 times more value than they were producing in 1968, yet they're being paid half as much. So where is that extra value going? It's going in the hands of the multimillionaires and billionaires. That's why we have 19 billionaires in this country.
Because those people have very easy access to credit markets, which there's a bunch of cheap money out there because we keep printing all this money. So, of course, we are protecting asset prices and making capital available to those people who have access to it and to those people who don't. The constant upward pressure on pricing keeps them from being able to participate. He knows this to be true. Like I said,
we're worth 12.5% of our.
This is political theater season, and it's time to slap our names on a bunch of bills that aren't going to go anywhere. It's a time to spew a bunch of lies about whether or not there's these foreign threats or whatever to the United States, or here's some economic slop to get you to vote for me so we can all run back to our districts and pretend like we're doing stuff. Meanwhile, we're going to keep signing continuing resolutions that add trillions of dollars to the debt, hurt the American people, hurt the average worker, and then, see you in 2 years, and I'll have my name on another bill that is going to go nowhere and do nothing for anybody.